for me is the awkwardness of it. Echoing back, you do feel a little awkward sometimes, and you start to pick up on, I didn't quite get all that, or maybe there's two meanings here and floating around in my head, and I need to confirm which one it is.
The biggest challenge for me is sometimes he wants to do pledge about things that I don't think we need to do pledge about, that I don't think they were that big of a conflict. But once we get into it and do it, I understand that, even if it is a little conflict, it's a good idea to go ahead and go through the process just so you know for sure that you are on the same page with each other.
The biggest challenge using pledge definitely was restarting healthy habits. Just like any proactive thing you do, starting a diet or starting an exercise regimen, it's letting go of your old habits and engaging in starting those new ones.
Like, we were in the car one time and he's like, I need to pause. And I was like, okay, but and he's like, I really need to pause. And I was like, and I said even more, and he's like, Jamie, please, let's pause. And I was okay, because nothing good was gonna happen if I didn't pause. And so even as you start to make it a habit, it can be hard, but if I do this, if I follow this, it will be better than if I just keep running my mouth.
It's difficult. You have to, especially when you have kids and activities and things like that, finding the time to sit down and do it, but it's well worth it.
Making that decision to use it on a daily basis, not only with my husband, but also others around me.
Applying these principles and engaging them honestly and sincerely and earnestly is definitely the hard part, but it's worth it.
We are the perfect example of horrible communication, and Pledge has helped us so much, tremendously so far.
At first, like she referred to, it might seem kind of hard to jump on the boat and have a sour attitude about it and thinking, hey, nothing's going to work, nothing's worked, maybe what's the chances of this working or whatever. Stick with it, it'll work. Sometimes at first it might not seem like it, but it gets better as you do it. Just keep a good attitude towards it and an open mind and give it an honest chance and an honest effort, and it'll work if it's anything like it did for us.
It's not a cure-all. You're gonna go into it with your typical patterns, but Pledge is something we can kind of like hold on to, like a security blanket. When it starts to heat up, we're like, oh yeah, okay, so you're saying this and this. So it's like getting a lifeline in the middle of drowning and reminds you, okay, let's do this in a way that we both feel heard and we know honors God and we won't escalate.
I would say stick with it. Put the little cue cards around the house like we have, just to remind us to use it over and over and over again.
If you're just starting and you're working through the pledge process, stick with it. Don't quit on the principles, because they produce something far greater than where you are.
I would just say that definitely try it and learn all the steps and do the steps and just let it change your life, because it will.